Hey, it's Dr. Cody Rawl with Techforpsych. Today I'm sitting down with Ellen O, a designer that wants to improve communication between foreign background patients and their psychiatrist. She calls the digital technology project We Embrace.
Hello, my name is Ellen O. I'm a designer based in New York City. My project title is We Embrace. The project is about optimizing communication between foreign background psychiatric patients and psychiatrists through digital technology.
All right, Ellen O, thank you so much for being here.
No, it's my pleasure.
So you're coming down from New York City, and you are a designer up there.
Right.
Tell me about that. Tell me about going to design school and what that meant for your career and where you're going with it.
So it's been a very big transition for me. I went to college here, studied business, and I went back to Korea and worked as a management consultant for a couple of years. And I moved back to US, in New York City, to go to design school and pursue a new career. And I studied industrial design in the design school.
Can you explain industrial design a little bit more to me? Because I'm still confused on what that is exactly.
Okay, industrial design is essentially designing a product, and people label as industrial design because product traditionally go through manufacturing process and industrial process. So people want to emphasize industrial designer want to emphasize that we're designing a product that is mass produced. But these days, there's a product design that refers to digital products such as mobile application or on websites. So these days, industrial design is more for traditional like physical object, whereas product design both refers to the product that we sell at the store, but also digital products on digital devices.
And you were saying you felt like it was actually a good time to go into that because businesses were just looking for people like that to help them design their stuff.
Right.
Something about the Steve Jobs era, is that what you were saying?
So I didn't know anything about design, frankly speaking, when I was in business role, because I graduated from business major and every career path was very traditional business major. But then I want to do something different, something more creative, something that actually creates an impact to the real people, because consulting, I think sometimes, I still love consulting work, but it's more about advisory, and there's needs a time to implementation, whereas design, you create something visually and all could impact people. So that's how I got into it, and then the timing was very perfect because Apple came up with iPhone and iTunes and all iPads. They changed the whole landscape of digital devices. And then what's incredible about the Steve Jobs was that he was a person who emphasized design over a lot of different elements of business or elements of products. So a lot of people start to think about design in the business context. A lot of people in business start to think about like how to use creativity, how to use design principles to create product and service. And because I have both business background and now design background, having experience in two fields is very good.
And I think that's a perfect segue into your app, the one that you're proposing for the Psychiatry Innovation Lab, right? First of all, can you tell a story about how you found out about Psychiatry Innovation Lab? Because I thought that was like just great.
Okay. So during the summer, I start brainstorming about my own company or laboratory, which I wanted to do a lot of interdisciplinary experimental projects with psychology, psychiatry, human mind, and art and design. And I start to I wanted to get some idea what's out there. So I started Googling psychology, psychiatry, innovation, and then I found psychiatry innovation. I was like, wow, there's this thing here out there, and then I checked, and it was like really cool, and I really liked that it brings it invites a lot of ideas, not only from medical community but from like anyone. And also it was like a perfect opportunity for me to pursue my interest that leverage both like everything I have, like business, design, and my interest in like human mind.
Yeah. Have you ever done like a hackathon thing before, or like a?
Not really. So I'm a little bit nervous and also excited to actually, try certain things. I did like workshops a little bit, but not really the hackathon or anything.
I pitched in Atlanta in May, and I felt like I got up on stage and then I just said a bunch of things, but it's like your mind just disconnects for a little bit, and then you're like, you come to and you're like, where am I? But yeah, it's exhilarating. It's fun though, and it's cool to get the feedback from the judges. I'm excited to hear what they think about your idea, which, as I cut you off before, but could you roll into like what your app is on and what your idea is?
Okay, so my project title is We Embrace. It's optimizing communication between psychiatrists and patients with foreign background. The inspiration came from actually partially my own experience and partially what I think it's an issue in the society or within like that immigrant group is that I think the verbal communication between physician and patients are critical in psychiatry. And when I was in college, I went to consultation. I was okay speaking English, using English for like studying, for working, but when I had to describe my emotions or like my symptoms, I felt a difficulty. I felt that my language are limited, and I felt that I was not expressing enough to the doctor. And as a immigrant or as a minority living in the United States using English as a second language, I felt that how can I help people with that foreign background? They also have mental health issues. They want to talk to physicians. They want to express their emotions. How can I help them? And then I felt that design is a really good tool for that because it visualizes communication with like pictograms, simpler interface in mobile device or connected device. So that's how I came up with the project.
And you were saying like patients could even just send pictures like emotive, so like. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Okay. I thought there would be a different level of severeness of the symptoms or depression or whatever their mental health issue. So after the initial consultation, if they're feeling relatively well, if the communication between doctor and patient, I imagine it would be relatively simple. So if doctor message patient, or how are you doing? And then he could just simply send like I'm well with like a pictograms or emojis, what people call. Or if he felt he needs more consultation, he could simply reply, oh, I have sleeping problem. I feel a little bit depressed, and also with like a pictogram. That I think those graphics or visuals are very powerful because people just get it.
Yeah, there's no miscommunication there.
There's no miscommunication or misinterpretation, and that's, I think, the core idea of the project.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking before, and it makes sense to me because it's not vocabulary that people with second languages use all the time, the medical vocabulary. And I know as a physician, sometimes when I'm speaking to patients, I'm kind of wondering, like, how much are they getting of this? And there's been studies that show that especially people that don't use English as a first language, they miss so much of it. But then that would be awesome to have an app to sort of have a history of things you can look back at
Right.
and recheck things. And then also, wasn't there like an appointment, like a follow-up appointment thing that you were proposing to?
So, sorry, my father suggested that he was always curious like how patients are improving or not improving after the consultation, because some patients come back for another counseling or another session.
Yeah.
Plus there's actual communication going on. Both sides don't know, like doctors don't know like how patients are improving or not improving, or patients doesn't know whether they still have depression or not. So it's basically like doctors can follow up with patient with a simple communication, and also patients can get a reminder and then maybe make an appointment through doctor if they felt it's not okay and then they want to have another consultation. And also there was a suggestion, I didn't suggest as like one of the major functions, but one thing was to connect with a psychiatrist who speak their mother language.
And you mentioned your dad. He's a psychiatrist in Seoul, Korea, right?
Yes.
And what's your relationship been like with him? Has he been a mentor, a partner, or like?
He played a role as advisor and mentor. The first idea was actually we came up with a similar idea. I think it's because having a psychiatrist in the family, you have more awareness of what they do, what patients they deal with. So I had this, and then sometimes my dad comes back home and then he explains, oh, I wish, like there's like, for example, I wish I had 2 computer screens so that one I can see and one patient can see. Those those little issues I was always aware of. So this, the issue of language barrier and culture barrier, I think my dad and I instantly agree with that it's a great issue, great opportunity to improve. And then a lot of development, like mobile application, was based on my idea, but also as a designer, I'm not from medical community, so they're I think in the middle, like getting expertise, insights, opinions. That was my dad's role, and which was very helpful because idea, it becomes stronger when it goes through validation process.
Yeah.
And then when there's actual strength for implementation, not just like idea from the head.
So it has to incubate for a little bit. And I think that's what we're hoping on doing eventually with the Innovation Lab, is not only just do the pitch stuff, but also have follow-up for the ideas so that they can incubate and like have success later on.